Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. We're working on this 2 for 40 again, and this Troy-Bilt's going to be my last project out of those duos. We had gone through this other Honda GCV Troy-Bilt. We got this thing running, washed up the deck, had cleaned up the carburetor prior to that. One of the wheels was stuck shut. We lubed those up, so this was a great repair for 20 bucks. Sharpened the blade, so this one here is ready to go. I threw this TB230 up on the deck. We'll look at the engine number and the model number. So the engine on this is a 128 Mike 020007 Frank 1, built April of 2014. The fourth month, 8th day of 14. Let me give you the model number down here. So the deal with this thing, we got to go through the carburetor and clean it. I just touched up the blade. We got to do the carburetor next. The model number of this thing, the Troy-Bilt model number, is 12 Alpha Victor Bravo 2 Bravo Victor 711. Made in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, Troy-Bilt LLC. Just hit you in the head, sorry, a little bit overfilled on the oil. We'll deal with that later. Let's get busy and start taking the carburetor off of this 2014. Hope you're all doing well. So this was a good batch here, 2 for 40. Let's remove the beauty ring here, 2 Phillips. I have most of my tools nearby to do the job. I've got my ethanol free with stable added to it, and I got my battery powered transfer pump, so we're going to put that to use. The tank was full on this. It's got a full tank of gas, but we didn't have any luck with keeping this thing running. So let's check out the carburetor, see if there's any crapola in the bowl. Okay, we got an overstretched air vane spring. I can see that right away. What else is on this thing? So somebody's put a new carb on. I was curious about that, and I'll show you what gave me a heads up. Somebody's got to put a kit on this thing. It had this Savior aftermarket Chinese plug. So I thought, well, why'd they do that? Well, it came in a kit here. You get the plug and a carburetor, usually, and a new air filter if you buy a kit. So maybe there's more issues to this thing, but that's looks like it's overstretched. Let's start taking this thing apart. And see what the deal is. Did they contaminate it right away with bad fuel once they replaced the carburetor? I'm going to remove the tank, put that to the back, and then figure out what's going on with the carburetor. I should probably move the table up so I'm not down here on my knees. 10 on the big bolt back there. And then what do we got up here? I think they're 5/16 on the 3 here on the top for the tank. Been sitting a while. There's some moth nest or something on here. I don't know if I should remove the recoil. Let's just go with the carburetor for now. Normally I do the recoil to see what's under there. Okay, the overfillage on the oil is showing itself there. Okay. I'm going to remove the hose. It's in my way. Quarter-inch on the air vane. I'll remove that. That's going to have to come off. I do have some spring kits. I think I have the box of springs out here with me. Put that to the side. Finish taking off the 10s. Yeah, it's no good to replace the carb and then contaminate your system again with the same old crappy gas. Which I'm sure could have been an issue here. People don't realize gas doesn't last for 5 years. Okay, they got the O-ring in place, so that's good. Okay, why is this Z-bend so tight? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's turn this thing down so you can see what's happening. Let me grab the container. I want to salvage the gas that's in the bowl so I can see if we have contamination. What are we looking for? I believe it's a half. Is it a half? You guys help me out. I haven't messed with one of these for a while. It's more than a half. It appears. I'm using a 14 and it's kind of loose. Loose as a goose. Try a 13. I didn't think it was a 13. Boy, I'm really out of it. It's not a 9/16. I'm just going to use what I have. Okay, I found a 13 and it seems to be snug. It has been a while since I've worked on a Quantum. Oh, wow. I'm glad I'm saving the fuel. You're going to get a looky look on this. Garbage in the bowl. Kind of dark fuel. You can see down there what I already poured out. Snotty snot. So I'm going to clean that up. You jettison the nut, so we may have something in there blocking. I can't see through it, or can I? Yeah, I can see through it here. But what about up here? I'm going to blast some air through this. Okay, it's clear. I just put my dirty lips on it. It is open. So we'll just do a quick clean here and put this thing back together. Aftermarket carb, and it's still fairly new. I don't see anything jumping out at me. So kind of too bad they went to all the effort of changing out the plug and the carb and still had no luck. I hate to see Harvey and Helen, the homeowner, fail at their attempts at small engine repair. I want everybody to be successful, because I know I sure don't need the business. I got enough demand for mowers. Less would be fine with me. So whatever it was, kind of left a little rust there, but that's the best I can do. Must have been waterishy because it left some roughness. So let's see, kind of peeking under the recoil. I don't see any bird's nest or anything too big here, so I'm not going to take that off. You're just looking at the carb. There's no Briggs marking on it. Definitely an aftermarket carburetor. Snuggy, don't get crazy. Southwest leaving the area. They're going back up north. They should stick around. Beautiful weather here in Southwest Florida. Spring break is fast approaching. I kind of went through the head bolts, tighten those up when I was messing with the blade. They were fairly tight. So this might be a quickie quick. What do you think I should do with the fuel that's in the tank? Drain it out and start fresh? Probably. So what I'll do is let this into the hose, into a container, and just let it gravity feed into something else, because we don't want to contaminate. Although I remember when we turkey basted it, I don't think it looked too bad. But the damage could have been done. They could have already had crap in the bowl. Adding new fuel to the top doesn't help you out at all. You got to manually remove the bowl, clean out any snot, check your jet, and you'll live happily ever after. Let's throw this crappy spring back on. Okay. Gasket's still on the backing plate. I'm not going to change that. It's not as critical on a automatic choke. It would be with a primer. You want to make sure your gasket's in good shape if you had the priming system. Okay, what do we got to do? I got to get a container and pour this gas, let it gravity feed. Okay, while that's doing that, I can put the 3 screws up at the top. Save time, save money. Keep the project rolling. Okay, what do we got here? 5/16. Got a business jet leaving. Don't know who it is. Somebody with a lot of money. Flew down to beautiful Sarasota County for a week. Whoops. Kind of looks like diesel fuel pouring out of this thing. Getting the indication it might be diesel fuel. It's just got that syrupy texture to it, not clear and light like petrol. It's got that oily texture. I don't know, maybe Harvey told Junior to fuel the machine and he grabbed diesel fuel. A little bit of it poured on the deck here and it's bubbling up. You don't have bubbles on gasoline, but since this is oily, diesel fuel's oily, you'll have some bubbles. Yeah, and I get that diesely smell. Yeah. Geez, between the 2-cycle on that Honda powered Troy-Bilt, we had 2-cycle in the crankcase. Now we got diesel. What's wrong with these people? Can't keep their fuel situation straight. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to hold up the hose here for a second and pour some regular gas in just to flush out the tank a little bit. So this thing will probably smoke, I'm guessing. Yeah, I didn't start up my pump for that. I just did a little pour. Maybe shake this thing around maybe a little bit. Okay, let me put this fabric softener container here and let it dribble out. Okay, we're getting more fluid. We're almost out here. It's starting to slow down. What I can do is use some compressed air up here. Just kind of block the opening with the rag and force some air in. Give it some quick bursts and it'll push the rest of the fuel out, which it did. Bottom of the tank looks dry. Okay, let's keep plowing forward. We're really rocking this thing. Okay. Delta's heading out. Okay, I'm going to put in the 10 millimeter down here on the bottom. Probably should have lined that up first before my 3 5/16. But hell, I think we can still plow ahead. I'm going to yank the plug and see if it's oily, blast that out with some air. Maybe try to pull it over a few times, see if anything squirts out of the head. I think the blade's high enough off my table where it's not going to hit the metal table. So let me grab the appropriate socket. (13/16). I got to do some yard raking. I've been putting it off. The oak trees are starting to shed their old leaves and the pollen pollen clusters. So this would have been an issue. You can see the gap here is filled in with that oil, diesel-y oil. There's no gap there. So let me blast some compressed air, and then we'll pull this thing over. Yeah, it was oily. I blasted a lot of moisture off of the plug. Oh yeah, did you see that? You guys were looking for me. Did you see a lot of blasting diesel fuel? Definitely diesel fuel. It's bubbling up here on the plastic, giving me bubbles. Like I said, this thing's going to smoke like a chimney with that remaining diesel fuel, but it's going to burn itself off. Hopefully. Okay. Backing plate, fuel it, and try it. See, I don't even have to do a Lawrence Carroll cleanup. This diesel fuel is shiny. I just got to rub it into the paint. No ATF required. So it's a 2-for-1 on this deal. Hell, I could take the quart of diesel fuel I just poured off. That'll last me a year in deck polishing. Oh, forgot my clamp, but I think I can get it from here. I know what I'll do. I'll use my needle nose. Needle nose to the rescue. Ta-da! Okay, where are we? We're here on the backing plate. Just get it snug and then back and forth. A little more here, a little more there. Back and forth so it doesn't warp. Yeah, you can just tell by looking at the cap here. Oily. That was diesel fuel. Didn't expect that. So you got to expect the unexpected here when you're working with Harvey's catastrophes. I guess it could be an easily mixed up deal, not labeling your cans. They all look red, or they're colored red. If you don't mark them, it's easy to get mixed up. But it's a costly mix-up. I do have my transfer pump out, but I'm just gonna do a little pour here, make it quick and easy. Got a little bit of diesel fuel in the cylinder, and what I didn't get out of the tank should mix up nicely with the ethanol-free gas. Okay, remove all my quality Harbor Freight tools. Let me back this thing off the table, and then we'll put it over here near the Honda Honda powered Troy-Bilt. We'll put my beauty ring on later. I just want to see if what our theory here was correct or not on the diesel fuel contamination. Let me put you where the muffler is. You can tell me if it smokes. I'll put you real close so you can smell it. I just killed every mosquito within a quarter mile, so definitely smells like diesel, burnt diesel fuel. The textures looks like diesel, smells like diesel, then it is diesel. You could see all the large amounts of white smoke coming out of this thing, so there's still some in the cylinder. I'll have to let this thing idle for a while once you guys go for a nap. So that was a quick and easy. I'm also going to address this overfill. I'll probably just change the oil. That would be a prudent thing to do since the engine was contaminated with diesel fuel. We probably have some in the crankcase and it was overfilled a little bit. It wouldn't hurt to change it. It's kind of aged out there, so that's something I'll do. Oil change next, and then let it idle to burn off this excessive diesel in the muffler. So there you have it, kids. That's all I can say is we had good luck on the 2014, April 2014. The Savior plug was fine, and the aftermarket carb was fine. So yes, I'm happy. All I got to do is come up with a trap door or a side chute for this. So we'll make something work. We got 3 pre-drilled holes on this, so that's the only thing lacking at the moment. And this thing will be ready. Missing a hubcap here, but I don't give a crap about hubcaps. TB230 725EX, 21-inch self-propelled. You saw me engage the front wheel drive and it works. So this thing turned out good. I'm happy. If I'm happy, you should be happy. Tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. Come back and see me. These 2 for $40 turned out well. Extremely happy with these 2. It was a good purchase from my local scrapper. Have a good day today. Come back and see me tomorrow. We'll throw some other video at you concerning junk on 4 wheels. Always fun and exciting at Tommy Time. Thanks again. Adios, amigos.